Which movie is just the worst piece of crap you've ever seen? 2015, Fantastic Four. Nothing flowed, the script was bad, you could tell the actors weren't super happy about being there, and I think the editor was a drunk monkey. Still bitter over suffering through the Lightning Thief film. The Emoji Movie. I wanna strangle whoever thought that was a good movie idea. Dragon Ball Evolution, total disgrace to everything Dragon Ball was about. I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was about a group of friends who go on a yacht and jump in the water and then realize that they have no way to get back on the yacht and then start dying. It is the stupidest, most boring movie I have ever watched. I used to work in a group home for people with disabilities. One client used to be sent cheap DVDs by his dad, and it was December, so he wanted to watch the new Krampus DVD he was sent. However, this wasn't the probably fun Adam Scott 2015 movie. It was called Krampus, the Christmas Devil, and it was incredibly low budget. Most of the movie was three guys in camo walking around the woods in silence with guns. And Krampus literally kept naked women in cages and assaulted them. It seemed more like a snuff film. I had him turn it off around this point. The Last Airbender. Thankfully it totally doesn't exist. BTW the Earth King invites you to Lake Lagai. Aragon. The Disaster Movie. It's the bottom of the parody movies trend from the 2000s. Holmes and Watson. Tiptoes with Gary Oldman in the role of a lifetime. Being objective, The Room by Tommy Wiseau, but fuck I love that movie. Birdemic, save yourself and never watch this total piece of cinematic trash. The Bye Bye Man. This movie. This fucking movie. I watched this shit last night because I thought, hey, surely it's bad, but maybe I can at least mock it, right? Wrong. This movie sucks so fucking bad that I cannot fathom how anyone can get through it. The plot is worse than bog standard, it's nonsensical. There is legitimately a point in this film in which we are supposed to believe that the Bye Bye Man gave a main character erectile dysfunction. This is not a comedic scene, though, if it were, I wouldn't know because this film is god-awful at tone too. I had no idea who was supposed to have romantic tension with who, the characters aren't even fucking real people, just further recursions of college student cliches, no one is likable, and the main character is the most stupid shitstin protagonist I have ever had the displeasure of following. I think the worst part of this film is that it has the sheer audacity to last an hour and 41 minutes. I actually saw Battlefield Earth in the theater. Alvin and the Chipmunks 4. No Uncle Ian. Disappointed. The Mummy, 2017, the Tom Cruise one. I loved the first two Brendan Fraser ones. Two of my favorite movies of all time. Ancient Evil comes back, so just shoot it. That interspersed with jokes and very likable characters. The third one I even enjoyed. It's not good and Rachel Weisz is really needed as Evie, but I'm not picky. They may not be masterpieces, but they are enjoyable, which is what a movie is all about. So I had hope. And hey, I like Mission Impossible, maybe with Cruise it'll be like that. That could work. Oh my Horace, rah, and Seth was the Tom Cruise one bad. The worst part was it was just boring, the plot didn't flow at all, so you don't really care about anything that's happening, and there is way too much going on because Universal wanted it all part of a cinematic universe with other movies. The best part, with Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde, was sort of fun with the Book of the Dead Easter egg and all, but it also hurt the pacing and plot. I wanted to turn off this movie about 15 minutes in, only movie I ever have that bad, but I paid for it, and I was going to finish that garbage just so I could say for sure how bad it was. You think you're getting the goddess Isis, but instead you get the terrorist group. It was so bad, such a mockery of something good. I will now always answer it under questions like this. Today, Imhotep wouldn't want to come back because he might then accidentally see this movie. And Universal is going to need the Book of the Dead or Osiris himself to bring back the dark universe at this point. Jimkata. There's a 22-year-old Mongolian heiress who's being held captive in a mountain fortress that happens to have a pommel horse in it. There's no other way. Christmas with the Cranks. I know it's a cheesy schlock holiday movie with the dude from Home Improvement, but the message that movie sends just pissed me off. Made him out to be the bad guy when he wasn't at all. Dude just wanted to cheer his wife up and do something different for the holiday since his daughter was bailing on them and didn't want to change those cool new plans at the last second when his flake of a daughter changed her mind. Also absolutely awful neighbors would have moved and possibly ditched the wife based on how he was treated. Food fight, not going to lie, I pirated the movie just to see how bad it was, didn't watch the whole thing, I skipped around, watched about 30 to 45 minutes total, it was that bad. For those that don't know, it was this ultra shitty animated film with the animations not even fully rendered, a shitty plot, shitty dialogue, like the lines were bad and the sound quality was piss poor, they used different cheap mix for the same scene, you can easily tell, and so much fucking product placement, like no joke, the vast majority of background characters are product mascots. Words cannot describe the absolute shittiness of this movie, see for yourself if you doubt me, I am generally a pretty casual movie watcher and I'm not a harsh critic. Plus one other, the characters legit looks like a shit, no joke. Monas. Hands of Fate. Big budget movies in no particular order. All the Transformers movies after the first one. AVP and AVP-R X-Men Origins Wolverine. All the Hallmark Channel movies. You have to pick just one movie, you say? I did. Everything on that channel is the exact same garbage over and over again with different actors all trying to get you to realize the joy of buying greeting cards. The Happening. Known in this house as The Crappening. Mark Wahlberg absolutely phoning it in 'cause he was so embarrassed. Didn't blame him, TBH. The one where the supermarket food comes alive. So bad that I don't even remember the name. Edit. Sausage Party. I know this movie is pretty darn tame in comparison to every movie on this thread, but I need to say it. God's not dead. I absolutely cannot stand this movie. I'm all for arguing against religion and challenging each other's beliefs, but this movie paints religious debates as evil and sinful, and I just don't understand why so many Christians like this movie. There is too many side plots, including one where it's just two preachers trying to get a decent rental car, the acting sucks, and the movie paints atheists like they're science worshippers and like they're complete assholes. I also hate how the atheist teacher doesn't get a redemption arc and randomly dies in a car accident, and only one character actually tries to help him, and that's one of the preachers from the rental car side plot. All the other characters during the accident party at a shitty Christian rock concert and are totally unaware of a teacher's death. Was the car accident supposed to be the teacher's punishment for disrespecting God? I just don't understand the deep symbolism. Also, there was this journalist lady from one of the side plots who gets diagnosed with cancer, and her boyfriend just fucking leaves her like an asshole to fight off the cancer herself. All the villains in the movie are either atheists, assholes, or people who worship other religions. The movie puts Christians on a pedestal and treats them like they're perfect characters. They took an interesting story about how a student from California has a debate with a teacher about the existence of God, and they pump it with so much unnecessary Christian propaganda. It's annoying and it's an insult to Christians everywhere, including myself. The only few positives about the movie is that it had a decent production value and some decent cinematography. But the story, characters, acting, and overall message fills me with so much anger, and I wish it wasn't treating Christians like absolute flawless humans. God, I hate this film. Divergent. The book is awful, but the movie couldn't even come close to the quality of the book. It's just so bad. Alexander. Colin Farrell, B. 1976, with a preposterous blonde dye job as Alexander the Great. Angelina Jolie, B. 1975, as his Mother, affecting some sort of faux Transylvanian accent. A drunk, bloated Val Kilmer as his father. Christopher Plummer fruiting it up as Aristotle. Jared Leto as Alexander's best friend love interest. Such sexual tension. Brian Blessed as a wrestling instructor, okay, this one works. Just an insane mash of actors, badly cast and everybody chewing on the scenery for all they're worth. Could have been one of those so bad it's good movies if it wasn't for the fact that it takes itself super seriously and runs for 3 hours. See, I love bad movies. They're a load of fun to watch with friends and roast. That said, I would say the worst I've ever watched was the Total Recall remake. There's nothing even worth roasting in it. It was just an absolutely and entirely soulless paint-by-numbers corporate cash grab. The Fred movie. Dumb and Dumberer. The only movie I've ever walked out of. I walked out of that movie and into Ang Lee's Hulk. I honestly found that far more entertaining. The Dark Tower. I love the books, but the movie is crap. Batman and Robin. So many cheesy one-liners and I now can't imagine Mr. Freeze as anyone but Arnold Schwarzenegger. Poison Ivy is over-sexualized in a way that is completely unnecessary. The single redeeming quality of this movie is the fact that all the characters look like they were ripped straight from the comics, especially Bane. Dragon Ball Evolution. Gross. Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Had to sit through it 11 years ago and I'm still mad about it. Ballistic. X vs. Sever. With a total of 117 reviews, the highest for a film with 0% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Incoherent wall-to-wall action. If you like explosions and nothing else, this film is for you. Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I saw it when I was 10/11, and even then I thought WTF did I just watch? Date movie. It may very well be the worst film I have ever paid to see. I was horrible person for thinking it would be funny. I literally can't make it even a quarter of the way through House of Wax. The Paris Hilton one, obviously. Jupiter Ascending. My wife and I knew from reviews that it would be bad, but we wanted to watch it anyway. We laughed during the serious moments and were just astounded at the lack of coherent storytelling. Edit. I got the title wrong and called it Jupiter Rising. It is now fixed. A cartoon movie called Food Fight. As a kid I thought it was boring. Also a movie called Cool Cat Saves the Kids. I honestly didn't know what was going on for most of the movie. Movie 43. The Amazing Spider-Man. Tom Holland in Homecoming Far From Home did good. I loved the original Tobey Maguire versions, but Andrew Garfield in the whole movie was trash. Saw this one movie about an alcoholic clown that killed people at parties or something. It was so bad I try not to remember it. Edit. The movie was called Stitches. The 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves, but that movie was such a train wreck from start to finish. Mother. My least favorite movie I have ever seen, and I doubt anything will ever top it. Snow White and the Huntsman. Incredibly boring, ending is so anticlimactic. Well, I was told to watch The Meg by a couple people, and I thought it was a totally piece of crap. The name was dumb, the acting was subpar, the storyline was a joke, and it was one of those movies where you could immediately tell what was going to happen next. They tried to be too realistic for it to be a comedy and too ridiculous for it to be serious. A complete piece of trash in my opinion. Taxi, with Jimmy Fallon. I hate it so much. Well, I finally saw Aquaman last week. Couldn't finish it. Either one of the Percy Jackson movies. As someone who is a very big fan of the books, I hate that the movies aren't accurate. 50 Shades of Grey. That film Mother with Jennifer Lawrence was absolutely awful. I get it's supposed to be weird, and I got what was happening, but fuck me, it was a pile of wank. I honestly don't remember the name. The film was The Three Little Pigs, except they adopt a baby wolf. The baby wolf grows up, and the adult wolf mafia turn him on the pigs, only for the film to end with the now teenage wolf riding through the big window to save the three pigs. I also remember there being a sequel. Edit. The movie was called Three Pigs and a Baby and had a surprisingly big name cast. Batman vs Superman. Ugh, I forced myself through it, worst decision ever.